I'm Dawson Schmidt here with the latest stories and developments in this week's Commodity Roundup on Trader PhD. Below average precipitation and above average temperatures are leading to growing moisture deficits in some areas of the Corn Belt. Moisture deficits return in parts of the western and eastern Corn Belt throughout August. Parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan have experienced the brunt of that stress in the eastern region. Meanwhile, Kansas and Nebraska have also experienced more stress this summer following above average rain this spring in the western Corn Belt. Observed precipitation from Iowa State University's Iowa Environmental Mesonet shows large pockets of below average precipitation this month. Few states experienced above normal rainfall compared to below average rainfall. USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey says limited rainfall has been eroding topsoil moisture heading into the final stretch of summer.
It's about 2/3 of the country experiencing dry weather in the last week. We saw a predictable spike in topsoil moisture, very short to short. As we move into late summer, bigger picture is becoming the dryness that is expanding. For a long time, we were really just focused on the west, but now we're starting to see that dryness moving into other areas.
Eric Snodgrass with Nutrient Ag Solutions says limited rainfall is expected for areas with those deficits over the next few days, though better chances of rain could reach the plains next week. U.S. pork exports bounced back to close the first half of the year. The latest U.S. Census data showed that the U.S. shipped 239,000 metric tons of pork in June, up about 6% year over year. Exports had trickled lower to begin the second quarter. However, a rebound in shipments to China led a bounce back in shipping. U.S. MEF President and CEO Dan Halstrom says headwinds do remain despite the good month.
I think there's a couple of stories here. Number one is China, even though we're still at a 57% duty, the volume has returned to China in June, right at a year ago numbers. So that's the good news. The bad news is that we still have a significant duty, but at least the business has started back up. But the real story as it relates to June is Latin America continues to rock and roll.
For the first half of the year, pork exports remain 4% lower than last year's record pace. Meanwhile, U.S. beef exports continued to decline through the first half. In June, shipments totaled 94,000 metric tons, the lowest since June 2020. Halstrom says China continued to be a pain point for beef exports.
As we all know, we're still missing the vast majority of our plants as being listed for a China approval list. Many of these cuts, such as short ribs, top blades, chuck rolls, are sold across many of the Asian markets. So when you have a key market such as China not at the table, you're going to see a disproportionate impact on the pricing and the value lost opportunity.
Still, Halstrom says beef exports have been fairly resilient in the face of dwindling supplies. Shipments to South Korea have been stable, while Central America did see growth. Global wheat production estimates continue to climb this week. Favorable weather conditions have been aiding crop development in the northern and southern hemispheres recently. Russian firm ICAR raised its Russian wheat production estimate to 85.5 million metric tons this month, up from its previous estimate of 84.5 million metric tons. The firm cited better than expected yields in central Russia. Soil moisture levels recovered in central and Volga regions over the past few weeks. Earlier production forecasts pinned output at a 4-year low due to lower acreage and poor soil moisture conditions. However, improving weather did lead to a rebound in expectations. Despite better conditions in those regions, Sovicon noted that southern regions are harvesting a historically low crop. Down south in the southern hemisphere, though, Australia's wheat harvest could perform better than initial expectations. Last week, the Grain Industry Association of Western Australia raised its 2025 and 26 wheat production estimate to 11.5 million metric tons, up from the previous estimate of 9.4 million. Like Russia, Western Australia experienced significant moisture improvements over the past month. In June, Australia's government forecasted the crop at 30.6 million tons, down 10% from the previous season. Now the government will provide a quarterly estimate update at the beginning of September. Thanks for watching. I'm Dawson Schmidt, and this has been Trader PhD.